This here could cost you thousands. This part, this single component, could lead to you having to replace the condenser fan motor and the compressor below, compressor inside, and the compressor and the condensing fan motor. That's basically the entire unit. I mean, just besides that, it's just the coils and the shell. So this simple part right here, as you can see it, take a good look. It's bad. It's defective. You see the top of it is swollen. You know, rusty it is. Yeah, that thing is bad. And this client has been running the system for a few days with this defective component. And when this part is defective, this fan doesn't turn, it overheats. The compressor doesn't run, it also overheats. It cuts off on thermal overload, shuts off, restart, tries to restart, shuts off, tries to restart, and it does that all day long. So you're literally ruining the compressor and the motor. So now, I've got a brand new capacitor right here. I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be doing adding a booster as well. This is going to help to ensure that your old compressor will start all the time. Now, if you have an old unit, you might want to go ahead and just pay for that. Just hire someone to just do that, change this out, and then while you're ahead of doing this, do the compressor contactor as well. That's going to give your old unit a lot more life and longevity, because the costs or the price you're going to pay for this to do it as a preventative maintenance, as opposed to leaving it alone, and then because of this component, the compressor and the motor dies. It's going to be like the difference in cost is like $10 and $5,000. I mean, like, it's not realistically, but you know, just a ratio, right? So that's the difference. So you just a common sense thing. I mean, would you rather spend $10 right now to prevent you from spending $5,000 later? It's a no-brainer. And then to not have to deal with the hassle of having no cooling. So let's go see. I'm gonna do this right now, and we'll see if this thing is gonna work. Let me demonstrate what I mean by what's happening right now. I'm gonna like bump. I think this contactor is currently off right now. It's off. I'm gonna remove these screws and I'm gonna push it, and you're gonna see what's gonna happen. This thing is bad. Stay tuned. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna manually turn on the compressor contactor. And like I said, this is one of the components that I would recommend you change as well as a preventative maintenance. So the compressor, the capacitor, and you know, I would throw a booster in there for security or for insurance. So my amperages, this is for your beginners, mechanic or apprentices, not for do-it-yourself or DIYers. This is dangerous stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pretend like this thing is calling for cooling from the thermostat. I'm gonna push the contactor in, and you can take a look at the amperage and listen to the sound. Oh, wait, switch is off down here. Switch back, huh? And here goes. Nothing moves. Okay. I won't do that for the second time. So we're going to so this was doing that for a whole day. The customer had this thing on. So it was doing that, the compressor hums, tries to start. Obviously it's going to keep overheating. It's trying to, you see the amperage was crazy. The amperage was very high. So the compressor have a thermal overload inside that after, for about 15 or so seconds, is going to hum, and then it's going to cut off and thermal. And once it cools down, it's going to start try again. So long as this contactor is in and it's calling for cooling, the thermostat is on. If the thermostat is on and calling for cooling, and the contactor is in, it's going to keep doing that. It's going to get hot, keep doing that all day. And so this motor, I don't know if this motor has that thermal protection. Maybe this thing is fried. We're going to find out once we put this new capacitor. And if the compressor is actually going to start up again, you know, let's see, with the booster and the capacitor. But here's a tip for all you homeowners and just your users of these equipments, right? If you turn the AC on After 15 minutes it doesn't cool, doesn't work, no need to keep it on. You can leave the fan on but leave the cooling off, because you're going to do more damage. I repeat, if you turn the AC on after 15 minutes it's not blowing cold air, there's no need to leave it on, like lower the thermostat even lower. You just turn it off, call a pro. You're gonna save yourself lots of headache and money. Okay, let's swap this out. Okay, so here is the old part is out. Make sure that if you're doing this, if you're DIYer, so I would recommend you call the pro. But if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you match the terminals. The terminals are marked. It's probably hard to see, but they are marked. See, like for example, this is the arm, and then you got fan, and you got C. So all the wires has to correspond. Now for this bootser, I usually use this size. This is a medium size. There's a bigger one than this, but I find that the medium size works up to five tons. You know, 5-ton compressor does the job. If it's really stuck, if the compressor doesn't want to start, you can go for the bigger ones, the larger one. But that's gonna go. This is a 2-wire version, which is the easiest to install. I put a screw right there, pretty straight, secure it, pretty straight. So one goes on ARM, and the other one goes on C. 2 wires. Okay, pretty straight. So now I'm going to turn this on. Oh, already did. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and bump it for the first time. Let's see. You know what, I'm using my screwdriver, because I know that there's going to be a bunch of you on YouTube saying, "Oh, you guys, you're touching that. You didn't. It's dangerous." Whatever. This is for pros. If you don't know what you're doing, just don't attempt this at home. Do it yourselfers. That is pros and beginners. But anyway, let's go. Woo. She starts up. She ran. It's a win. Here's the video. Hope you learned something. I'm out of here.